Found footage horror. The cameras are shaky, the people are dumb, and the plot, well, some dude just lost his camera.
I think that's my camera!
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Eek. Today, we are going to be talking about found footage.
Okay, so what exactly is found footage?
According to the Wikipedia article, which that's how you know this is for real, found footage is a cinematic technique in which all or a substantial part of the
What
work
he's
is
trying to
presented
say
as-
is the movie looks like it's real, it's shot like it's real, but it's not. They're lying.
Bingo.
All right, so let's talk about this from the absolute beginning.
About 243 million years ago, the Triassic period
Shut
began.
the up! Let's talk about the real, actual beginning of found footage movies, okay? So there's a little bit of debate on exactly who started found footage. There's a popular movie called The Connection from 1961 about all these drug addicts waiting for the plug to show up, if you know what I'm saying. And that's one of the earliest films that employed the found footage style. But it's commonly known to be Cannibal Holocaust. That's what the majority of people consider the first true found footage movie.
Definitely, yeah, widely agreed upon for sure.
Yeah. There's so many examples of like earlier things that predate it, but give me a break, man. So Cannibal Holocaust. Have you seen this movie, Declan?
I think I've seen part of it, and I was like, yeah, that's about enough of that.
Yeah, I have unfortunately seen it. I did not know what I was going into. One of my homeboys threw it on the television, and then great soundtrack. Let me just say that. It does have a really good soundtrack, but it is what a lot of people consider like an exploitation film. There's a lot of really horrible, disgusting things that happen involving animals and humans.
Yeah, they be unaliving real animals. It's really
it is
sad.
horrible. It is absolutely horrible. I didn't know it was real until like looking things up afterward. It was not a good watch. I do not recommend it, but it is.
It's very influential for found footage movies.
Incredibly influential.
It was so realistic that the director Ruggero Deodato was actually charged with murder because people thought they were just literally watching a snuff film of him killing all the actors, and the main actors from the movie had to be presented in court just to show that he didn't actually kill all of them.
Yeah, he was an absolute psychopath and a bad guy, and we do not endorse him. So we have these small early examples. Cannibal Holocaust, bad movie. Then we have the game changer that comes in, the Blair Witch Project, which came out in 1999. Everyone's seen it, everybody loves it, and it really defined the genre, and we've never gone back after this movie. We're going to continue to see found footage movies forever just because of this one phenomena that took over the late 90s.
Definitely. It also, like, it just helped make it easier for people to get into movies because it just kind of showed, like, you don't need like a big ass crew to make an entire like high budget film. It's like you can use literally a video camera and go in the woods and just make something that's so horrifying, because I think the Blair Witch is horrifying.
Oh, big time. It was super low budget, bunch of unknown actors, and they accompanied it with really cool marketing tactics with using websites and like creepy leaflets of missing people, and really built up that this was a real thing that happened, and you're going to go sit your ass down in the movies and watch people die and watch how they died and find these recovered tapes. And it was super successful.
I would have loved to be there during that time and see all that and go see the movie when you think it's real.
Yeah, one question I like to ask people that are like in their 30s is, did you go see the Blair Witch Project when it came out, with people in their 40s, just to see if when they're around our age, like in their more youthful years, if they actually got to go see it, and if it was actually such a huge deal, because I know movies get hyped up a lot, but like people commonly say that this was a huge deal.
Yeah, my dad saw it in theaters, I'm pretty sure, and he said that he definitely thought it was all real. So shout out Bob.
Yo, shout out Bob. I thought he wasn't allowed out of the house after that thing he did in '96. But yeah. So Blair Witch was a huge success, and now everybody's making movies with a shaky camera and they don't have any money. But sometimes they do. We have a lot of imitators. Paranormal Activity came out in 2007. This series, what are they on, like the 35th movie, I think? Pretty high budget now, I'd say, but the original one was very low budget, and it's often considered our generation's Blair Witch Project. I I remember my brother going to see it with his high school friends when I was 7 years old in 2007. And I remember seeing all the commercials on TV, and it would show people sitting in movie theater seats and just their facial
Oh, I
reactions.
remember
And
that.
I was so horrified of this movie. And I didn't get to. I watched it on my grandma's desktop computer on an illegal movie website maybe like a year later. And it did freak me out, but it was not like I didn't poop my pants in the theater. I didn't throw popcorn on someone behind me. But I do remember it was a phenomena just like the Blair Witch Project. So maybe our kids or nieces or nephews one day might be like, what was Paranormal Activity like when it first came out?
Yeah. And I do think Paranormal Activity, to give credit where credit is due, it is different because it's not the shaky cam that is like often like linked with found footage. It's specifically like they're like, oh, these are gonna be like security cameras. We're gonna set them up. Also, don't know if you remember this or not. Paranormal Activity 4, which I think was actually the first one I saw, they literally use an Xbox 360 Kinect
Oh, I
as a
remember.
webcam. Like that's
Awesome.
so sick. That's awesome.
It was really
But yeah,
cool.
so they definitely changed it up, and I think that's part of the reason why it was so popular, other than obviously the marketing as well.
These movies were definitely really good for the time, and everybody loved it.
Deserve the praise they got.
Yes. Then we hop over to Cloverfield, which is a little bit different. Typically you think of these movies being ghosts or some ghouls or some creepy beings. Cloverfield was more of an alien approach, and they've been very successful. There's several Cloverfield movies now, but this was a monster movie now. Instead of ghost, we have monster now. Pretty cool. I saw these ones later in my life. I thought they were pretty cool. I think they get a little. Maybe there shouldn't be as many as there are.
Yeah, I've never actually seen Cloverfield. It's been on my list forever, and I've always wanted to see it. I've always heard people talk about it. I do think it's a cool thing that it's not a grounded thing. Like it's not like a serial killer or ghosts, like you were just saying, where it's like you're not gonna believe it. Like you're not going in here believing this is real, but it's just they're using that stylized approach.
Another movie I did want to mention was Lake Mungo from 2008. I know
Love that movie
you
so
and me are
much.
both huge fans in this movie. This is a found footage movie that will creep you out.
Bro, Lake Mungo is one of the scariest movies I have seen. I'm putting that on record. That scared the shit out of me, and I watched it like a year and a half ago. I was a grown adult and I was scared.
I do not recommend watching this movie if you're a little scaredy cat because your little tuffy hair is going to be sticking up and your tail is going to be going up and you're going to be going.
That's what happened to me.
Another really notable movie was Wreck from 2007. This was more of a zombie approach. I haven't seen Wreck. I know you've seen the remake, and we'll touch on that. But this was about.
I've seen Wreck too. I do.
Oh, you've seen both.
Yeah, I've seen Wreck.
I'm laying out the red carpet, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah,
not bad.
Jesus. I mean, I think Wreck is just another very good. It's very influential in the fact that like I don't know much about found footage in other countries, but I know that Wreck was a foreign film that was so popular that it's a staple in America at this point. Like I feel like everyone who talks about found footage talks about Wreck.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where they remade it and made Quarantine, which that's a whole thing that I feel like we're probably not going to get into because it's not nearly as good. I feel like movies don't need to be remade within 5 to 10 years of them coming out. But
yeah, just read the subtitles. Do you not know how to read? If you don't, that's okay. This country does have a really high illiteracy rate. I'll put it right here. Go for.
I learned that on What Would You Do with John Quinones.
Yeah, it's really bad. So if you can't read, I recommend figuring it out.
We love you.
Yeah, we love you, and you're welcome here. So this movie is about like a person that gets sick, and then they now have inhuman strength. This also kind of became a trend with Chronicle from 2012 being a movie where a bunch of silly teenagers.
Michael B. Jordan.
Yes, it is the one with Michael B. Jordan. I remember getting it on the Redbox. If you remember those things, it makes me feel old. But yeah, I got it on Redbox. And it was awesome, and it kind of started a trend. There's a few other examples of teenagers find something weird and then try not to get in trouble with it. It definitely started a little subgenre of found footage.
It's not a full found footage movie, but a movie that does occasionally have just like cell phone footage and stuff of parts, like stuff happening at parties. movie Talk to Me. We've talked about it a bunch on this channel. But at the beginning of that movie and stuff, they have people recording everything on like their Snapchat and their phones and stuff like that. You remember that?
Yeah,
That
it's
ruled.
like a new little take. So all these movies we talked about kind of, we had Paranormal Activity and Blair Witch that are a little bit ghastly. Is that a word? Ghastly. That's the word I'm looking for. We had
There it
Cloverfield,
is.
Big Monster Guy. We had Wreck, which is more of a human turning into something else. But let's talk about some fresh takes. Some more modern movies that took a little bit different of an approach. The first one I want to mention is one of my favorite horror series, Creep. I know me and Declan are both a huge fan of Creep.
Love Creep. Peach Fuzz is my boy.
I love me some Peach Fuzz. I want him for Christmas.
I would murder for a Peach Fuzz mask.
So Creep is a found footage movie, but the footage was never lost. Let's just say that.
You knew where it was the whole time.
You know where it was. Let me tell you. He essentially invites people to his crib, and then he freaks them out and then kills them with an axe. And they actually came out with a show recently called The Creep Tapes, which I recently finished. The last
On Shudder. It slaps.
It's really good. The last episode's really weird, dude. But it shows that he's got a lot of these tapes. And Mark Duplass, it is a horror series, and both of the movies are horror movies. But his comedy is so off-putting and good. Creep Tapes really explores that, since you know what's gonna happen. He's gonna kill a guy at the end. It really becomes a character study of Mark Duplass, and I think they give you just enough about his background and who he is, but they don't give you too much. He's this mysterious, weird character. Like, why does he have all these nice houses? I don't know. We're never gonna know. We're never going to. But you really get to dive into this really weird character, and it's a really fresh, different way to approach found footage.
And a thing that's very interesting about those movies, I actually just saw the other day, an interview with Mark Duplass and one of the other creators, was that originally it wasn't really meant to be a horror movie.
Really?
It was just supposed to be a type of like character study thing about like weird people with like Craigslist ads and stuff like that. And then they were like, dude, this is literally begging to just have like some demented.
This guy's begging to get an axe in the back of his head.
Yeah, so they were like, all right, well, you know, he might as well.
That is awesome.
Slay.
Slay. Yeah, let's hop over to Host. This movie was a horror movie that was on your computer. Ever heard of one of those?
Unfriended.
When did that one come out?
Way earlier than Host.
So Host is a phony movie, is what I'm hearing, but apparently it's pretty good. I know Declan has seen Host. I refuse to see Host because I don't like how it's on the computer.
Have you seen Unfriended?
No, I don't like how it's on the computer.
Really?
Yeah.
You haven't seen Unfriended?
No, I like when they're on TV.
The movie came out in like 2013.
Okay.
You've never seen Unfriended?
Dude, I've never seen that movie about Jack Skellington. When did that one come out?
Fair, whatever.
Yeah, I never hopped it. I've seen them up on services and stuff. It's just not that appealing to me. I'm sure that they have really cool elements, but it's just there's always something else to watch, you know? It's one of those things that just kind of gets pushed aside. But people do love Host. I think it is a really cool, fresh take on the genre.
I like it.
It's modern. It makes sense. I just don't like how stagnant the environment has to be personally. But I think
you can do certain things with it.
You totally can. I know they use like bottle episodes in certain TV shows. Like there's the episode of Breaking Bad where Jesse and Walt are in the lab together the entire episode. And they usually do that for budgetary restrictions. But I think you can do a lot with one environment if you have good characters, you have a good story to tell, for sure. It's just something I've never really wanted to seek it out, but I do love the concept. It is cool. It's fresh. You can do a lot with the internet. Internet's a scary place.
Even with the format of that too, it doesn't always have to be in like one static location. Because I know in the sequel to Unfriended, it's like Unfriended the Dark Web or something like that. I know they do run around a lot in that. And I also wanted to mention another movie from 2020. I love this movie so much. The movie Spree.
Oh,
Spree.
Dude, Spree is so good. How did I not include it on this list?
I don't know, dude. Wow. It's a mess
if
up.
You have not seen
Spree. It's so good.
Oh, Spree is essentially Joe Keery plays the main character, and he wants to be a successful streamer. So the way he goes about it is becoming an Uber driver that kills guys.
Yeah, and it's like the movie, like Yeah, like obviously you know it's not real because like it has Joe Keery in it, it has David Arquette in it, it has people you've seen and you know, but like as they're doing it, like it's so outlandish, but the idea of it is like this could technically
Oh,
happen.
big
This is
time.
something that someone could be Twitch streaming to one viewer and just be murdering people right now, and no one has any idea.
Yeah, that was an awesome concept. Yeah, I think I hit you up one night and I was like, "Give me a good movie to watch," and you told me to watch Spree, and I was not disappointed. That is a really fun, different way to do this. But yeah, I highly recommend it. It's anxiety inducing. It gets real weird and juicy.
It's so funny.
It's funny. Give it a go.
Go back to Kurt's world, everyone.
Next we're gonna talk about Late Night with the Devil.
I do love that movie. I did very much enjoy that movie. I would say it's probably in my top 5 from this year.
Oh wow.
I will say, no, I do not support their use of AI. I know that's conversation. I don't think it was cool. I think it was lame.
Yeah, it's pretty lame.
But I also was indecisive on how it does briefly leave found footage for 2 seconds, but we're not here for my review on Late Night with the Devil.
No.
Anyways, you were saying.
We're here to talk about how it took a different approach to the genre.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like found footage, lost media. It's like
Yeah.
a little mixture of the both. But
Mhm.
it's about this late night television program, and this girl comes and she's got the devil in her, and they find out real quick.
If she does or not.
Yeah. It's really good.
Mhm.
It was
Acting was amazing.
acting was amazing. The colors, the
Mhm.
throwback vibe to it. It made me feel like I
Beautiful
was
looking
watching
movie.
like a 70s late night show, which was really cool. Super good colors. It was just nice to look at. I saw it in theaters with some snow caps. I know that a lot of these movies I'm talking about are ones that kind of took a different approach. Creep went with this comedy aspect. Host went digital. Late Night with the Devil went like analog TV format. One movie I want to talk about that did the genre the exact same as everybody else, kinda. It's also a live stream. Oh, I'm backtracking now. Whatever. It's about ghosts. It's about ghosts is what I'm trying to say. Gungeon Haunted Asylum.
Love it. That's what inspired this episode. That movie inspired this entire episode. Fun fact, behind the scenes trivia.
Yeah, I watched that movie and I was like, I want to make a found footage video so I can talk about Gungeon Haunted Asylum.
Yeah.
It didn't do anything too insane. It's about this group that goes to this haunted house and they run a little production show where they want to
Mhm.
all GoPro up and go through the house and go through the asylum. And things take a turn, obviously, or else you wouldn't be watching the movie. It'd be really boring that way. But the horror in this movie is phenomenal. I don't want to spoil anything, but the faces, maybe I'll throw in.
The one scene at the end of the movie with the face that you know that I'm talking, you know what I'm talking about.
It horrified
Scared. Dude, I jumped off my couch. I watched this like 2 years ago. I jumped off my I looked down for 1 second because I got a text and looked back up and I was like, what the hell's that noise? And I saw it. Quite literally jumped off my couch, bro.
The way that this movie really gives you a twist and turn type of thing. Without getting into any spoilers, there may be some malice involved in making
Naturally.
it. And it fakes you out a lot. So you never know when something's actually going to happen. But when it happens, it sure does. And you'll be thinking about it a lot when you go to bed that night.
I think that's probably one of the keys to making a good found footage movie too, is constantly having something just completely switch the script so that it can keep you entertained. Because I mean, overall, like the idea of found footage, awesome, but it could also be very boring if you do it wrong, which is why the bad found footage movies are just so bad. Because oh my god, I fucking hate that fucking movie.
Sound off in the comments if you think the ending of that movie was butt.
Yeah, because the ending of that movie ruined the entire goddamn movie. All right, are you serious? Spoiler alert! There's gonna be a spoiler coming for you.
I got him worked up again.
There's gonna be a spoiler coming for you for a Hell House, but it's okay because you don't need to watch it because it sucks ass because. They build up this whole movie like they're being watched and they're being stalked, and it's so cool and creepy, and there's these clown costumes and everything. And then what's the twist at the end? Oh, they were ghosts all there was ghosts of cult members in the wall from years and years ago, and they came out of the walls and they killed everybody, and the girl that was having an interview with them was dead all the time. Fuck off, bro. That shit's ass. What do you think? Huh?
Don't yell at me.
Huh, tough guy?
I think that it was uninspired and boring, and it had some creepy elements like the clowns. Yeah, clowns are pretty scary. Haunted houses, they're pretty scary, but I think overall that movie was a huge flop, and it is the reason why many people, including me, have this opinion of found footage. It is a phenomenal genre when done right, but a lot of the times it's not done right. And do you know how people make that joke like podcast equipment needs to be more expensive?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe cameras need to be more expensive.
I think found footage has some of the highest potential, but I think that's why it has some of the biggest fall-offs too. Because I think if a found footage is done right, I think it's possible to be probably one of the scariest movies, just because you can do it in such creative, original ways that conventional like camera shots and cinematic stuff just can't do as well as found footage.
It's so raw, and your actors are really important. If they actually seem scared, you're gonna seem scared with them. I know a lot of found footage movies use techniques where maybe the actors don't know what's going on all the time, so that when things happen, they'll elicit a real reaction. I think that's really important. Just having that raw human emote, because what you're trying to display is, hey, this person's going through something horrible, and they happen to have a camera on them. You need the actor to you need that emotion to shine through. So I think there are a lot of really bad found footage movies, just because maybe they just didn't have the right idea. Maybe they just wanted to make a fun movie, and that's fine. But they're bad.
Yeah. I mean, there was the cool thing about that too is you can also like, it will bring so many new people into the space of being able to make movies. Like, I mean, just on YouTube this year, I haven't seen it. It's been recommended to me quite a bit, and I would like to watch it. I know that someone came out with that found footage movie on YouTube, Milk and Cereal.
Oh, I haven't heard of it.
By That's a Bad Idea is the YouTube channel. I haven't actually watched it. I believe we know a couple of people who have watched. I can't remember who though, and I'm pretty sure I've only heard that it's really, really good. It's an hour long.
Oh, it's an hour on YouTube. Wow.
Yeah, it just brings new people into the space. Is the thing that
it's very
they can
accessible.
Get more initiated. Yeah, definitely. Which is, like we've said 10 million times over, good and bad.
I just think overall it's a great genre, but it needs a lot of love and care. Low budget is fine, but you need to still innovate and try to spice things up a little bit to keep everybody entertained. There's only so much you can do a lot, but there's only so much you can do on a base level with this genre, and you need to come up with fun, quick ideas like Creep did with making it more comedy focused. Like Host did with just bringing an entire new format to it. I think that's a really important. Found footage movies really do have the potential to be some of the scariest movies you'll ever see.
Definitely. So keep them coming, because I'm going to keep watching them.
Yeah, me too. I don't even care if they suck. I'll watch them.
Yeah, we'll still watch them anyways.
Let us know what your favorite found footage movie is. If you're mad at any of our takes, including the Hell House LLC one, direct that at Declan.
See, he can't even get it out because he knows that it's such a shit movie. He can't even get it out because he knows he's objectively wrong right now.
All right.
Anyways,
we gotta go.
If you guys enjoyed the video, bye guys. See you.